Hello, everyone. I'm Edson Yanaga. Today, live from Cary, North Carolina. Welcome to another Google Wallet live stream. And I can see that we have a lot of people already online, and I'm here from North Carolina, and I can see that we have a lot of people from all over the world joining us today. So some people from Spain, Nigeria, Pakistan, what else? And other countries already say hi. So yes, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today because we're going to be talking about Google Wallet, of course, and specifically about the new client libraries for Google Wallet. So if you're a developer, you want to integrate with Google Wallet, you want to, well, what's the easiest path for me to start coding? Well, it's by using the new client libraries that I'm going to show today with a live demo. How can you just like integrate your project, add a dependency, and you're ready to code? Okay. And if you have any questions, if you want to say hi, if you want like learn more about Google Wallet, if you have any questions, any comments about what I'm doing today, please post them in the chat. We're constantly monitoring here what you're saying. Oh, if we have folks from Finland, from Poland, hey, hi folks. So yeah, thank you. Thank you. And I can see we already have a question from Cars Hub asking why Google Wallet is not in Pakistan. Well, we're expanding Google Wallet to most, if not all major countries and territories worldwide. And we just recently launched it in India, and Google Wallet is constantly expanding to new markets. So even though I can't tell you exactly when it's going to be available in a country, please stay tuned because we're always announcing new countries every quarter. So maybe very soon you'll be able to use Google Wallet in Pakistan as well. Okay. And JVCSS is asking also, what can we do with Google Wallet now these days? Well, it depends on which country are you, but in most countries where Google Wallet is available, you can use, for example, you can use Google Wallet to add your credit card, your debit cards, and pay whenever, wherever like Google Pay is accepted. And also you can add your event tickets, your boarding passes if you're taking a flight. In some cities, you can add your transit tickets, so you can just tap and go into your bus ride or your metro ride. You can also, what else? You can use corporate badges, hotel keys. I mentioned loyalty cards, gift cards. So you have a lot of things that you can add to your Google Wallet. And maybe if you don't have that particular thing that you want in your Google Wallet, it's because we didn't have a smart developer to integrate with us yet. So that's why you're watching us today. So today is your opportunity to learn how to use the new Google Wallet client libraries to integrate those Google Wallet passes into your project. So your users can benefit from the availability, from the ease of use, from the security of a digital wallet such as Google Wallet. All right. And I can see people joining us also from Vietnam, Mexico, Ukraine. Yeah, well, thank you very much. You have a lot of people from different countries worldwide. And keep posting here where you're watching us from. Brazil, I forgot Brazil. Yeah, thank you. I have a fellow Brazilian. I'm Brazilian, so that's why I'm saying, hey, to my friends from Brazil. So, and while you're posting here in the chat, I'll start with the content. So what can you do to start coding with Google Wallet? So if you watched the first episode of our Google Wallet live stream, I went through all the steps. You need to create an issuer account in the Google Pay and Wallet console. You need to create your service account keys in the Google Cloud console. And after you have all this information, you can start coding. So when you start coding, then the next step is you have to choose what is your programming language. What is your favorite platform? I'm sure you have yours. I'm a Java developer, and I've been a Java developer for the past 25 years. I know you might have a different taste of programming language, a different taste of programming tools, but the beauty of it is that all of us can develop, all of us can integrate with the Google Wallet API because the Google Wallet API is a REST API. So if your platform programming language tool supports HTTP connections and you can create REST requests, you can integrate with the Google Wallet API. And for some major platforms, I think it's 9 in total, We also support client libraries. So we pre-generate these client libraries from the public proto buffers of the Google Wallet API. So you can be sure they're always up to date. They're always matching the current functionality of the Google Wallet API. And if you're downloading the latest version of the client libraries, you can be sure that you're always accessing the latest features of the Google Wallet API. And if you want to learn more about these client libraries, you can check like any of the verticals supported by the Google Wallet API. For example, we're going to do an event ticket today. An event ticket, and if you go to the left side of the screen, you'll be able to see here, if I scroll through the menu, in libraries and tools, you'll be able to see client libraries. If I click here on the client libraries, you can see that, previously we used to make some libraries available here to download on the Google Wallet developer documentation website. But luckily, now you can consume the client libraries that we have from major public repositories. And all the source code for the client libraries is also available on GitHub. So if I go through this link here, visit the Google API's client libraries, we're going to be directed to the official Google API client libraries. And you can see that we publish libraries in major public repositories for Java, Python, PHP, .NET, JavaScript, Objective-C, Dart, Ruby, Node.js, and Go. That's a lot. I said 9. Well, I was mistaken. It's actually 10 different languages and platforms that you have the API available for you. Okay. And what else? I'm going through the comments here to see if there's anything that I can mention. Oh, Deepak, love from India. Thank you. Love the India folks. Oh, by the way, I'd like to mention that next week, July 17th, we have IO Connect India happening in Bengaluru. So if you happen to have a ticket for the event, well, please say hi to the Google Wallet team. I'll be there. We'll be more than happy to have a chat with you, maybe even a coffee. But if you don't have a ticket, don't worry, because the major keynotes are going to be live streamed in the Google for Developers India channel. So that's another opportunity for you to get the content. So yes, we'll be in India next week, and if you got a ticket, I hope to see you there. And I was mentioning here the client libraries. So please tell me here, what is your favorite platform? I can see some folks here saying Python. We're saying like Dart, like I already mentioned Java. So I know I have some friends that love JavaScript. Some friends, I know a lot of people integrate with the Google Wallet API using PHP. So what's your favorite platform? What's your favorite language? And for me, I'm a Java developer. I love Java, and I do daily Java coding. But maybe your favorite language might be Java as well, or JavaScript. And in your daily job, you use PHP. So yeah, we have multiple opportunities to use the new client libraries for Google Wallet. And I can also see a question here. Where Wookie is asking us, what is a client library? Well, a client library is a piece of code, or it's a dependency that you can add to your project. So you don't have to develop all the integration to the Google Wallet API by yourself. For example, if you want to create an event ticket, which is the thing we're going to create today. If you want to create an event ticket, you need to create a JSON definition of your object. Then you need to learn how to authenticate with the Google Wallet API. You need to learn how to send the request according to the requirements of the Google Wallet API. And you might need to read a lot of documentation. You might need to code a lot to be able to integrate with that. But if you're using the official client libraries for Google Wallets, then all of this is already done for you. So you already have like pre-created objects that you just need to populate and send to the API. You already have error handling. You already have authentication. You already have all of this stuff already built for you. So it's much easier for you to integrate with the Google Wallet API if you choose one of the official client libraries that we have. And don't worry, I'm going to show you today how you can do all of these with your project. As I mentioned, I'm a Java developer. So today we're going to do a Java project. And another question here is Adam Duda is asking, hi, will it be possible to add a boarding pass straight from Gmail, like or share it with other people like on iOS? I know this question isn't about the new APIs, but you might have wondered why some boarding passes are showing up in your wallet automatically. Well, recently we provided a wallet integration with Gmail. So if your airline is sending your boarding passes with some special metadata called microdata embedded in your confirmation email HTML, the Gmail can parse automatically the information from your flight that is from your boarding pass that is embedded into the email using in microdata format. And if you enable the integration, Google Wallet can automatically surface that boarding pass into Google Wallet. So that's another way that you can use Google Wallet for your boarding passes. And if you can add or share boarding passes through Google Wallet. Another way, actually the best way for your airline to integrate with Google Wallet is to use the APIs, the same ones that we're going to use today. So if they integrate with that, then in your confirmation email for your flight, they're going to send you a link with an image called Add to Google Wallet. And when you click on that, you'll be able to download the boarding pass to add the boarding pass to your Google Wallet. So if you want this best possible integration, you need to ask your airline, well, why don't you integrate with Google Wallet? I know that here in the US, all major airlines are already integrating with Google Wallet, so you have this easy of use routine. I believe that all major airlines in Europe as well. And for other countries, I know that these airlines are super eager to start integrating with Google Wallet, so you can have this benefit of having your boarding pass in Google Wallet, okay? And now let's move forward with the integration. So as I said, you can click here, for example, Node.js. If I click on Node.js, I'm directed to the GitHub repo containing the source code for the client library in Node.js. And this particular repository contains not only the client libraries for Google Wallet, but for all the other Google APIs that are available. So if you just integrate here, follow the documentation. For example, if you're using NPM, you say NPM install Google APIs, all the Google APIs will be available in your project. But as I'm a Java developer, Java is a bit different. So if I click on Java, you can see easily access Google APIs from Java. And I can see they show how can you authenticate, how can you do this, how can you do that. And if I click here on this link, supported Google APIs, now I'm going to be directed to the GitHub repo. And here for Java at least, they're showing the versions that are supported and the different APIs. Whoa, that's a lot. The scroll bar is huge for this repo. And if you just try to find here wallets, Google Wallet API, version 1. We're still version 1 because we're still backward compatible since the beginning. So if you click here on the V1 of the API, you directed to the specific repo containing the instructions for the Google Wallet API client library for Java. And you can see here that all you need to do to start coding with the Google Wallet API in Java is to add this dependency to your project. You're saying con Google APIs, Google API services wallet objects, and here's the version for the latest version of the Google Wallet API. So that's what you're going to do. So it's a similar project, depending on if you're using NPM, PHP, each language platform has its own way of adding the dependency to your project, but it's just a matter of following the instructions and your project's ready to go. And just to entertain you more, I'm going to quickly create here a project. So I'm going to create a Java Quarkus project. I know if you're used to old Java from 10, 20 years ago, you're not ready yet, or at least you haven't seen the latest and greatest feature of Java. So I'm going to create use a Quarkus, create app, Google developers, wallet, and I'm going to say new client libraries is the name of my project. So I'm going to generate a new Java Quarkus project. Success, well, it's done. And I'm going to this folder, and I'm going to, first I'm going to open it in my IDE. So I'm going to open it. You didn't see that because it opened in a different window, but I have the project already open in my IDE. And now I'm going to start the Java project here. And I'm going to say mvn Quarkus :dev. When I type this, my Quarkus, my machine is kind of slow here, probably because I'm live streaming. And I'm opening the IDE as well. So my Quarkus project is starting, and usually this takes about 1 second. Today is slower because, of course, we're live streaming, and just because I said it's fast, it's taking longer than expected. So yeah, my Quarkus project is live. So if I go here to my machine localhost 8080, yeah, my new Quarkus project is running, and it already provides me a hello world endpoint. So if I say hello, yeah, hello, it's running. So the next step is that I have to get my IDE here, and I'm going to maximize the screen, and I'm going to enter the presentation mode, because then it's easier for you to see what is happening. Funny thing is that if I enter presentation mode, I don't know how to close this one. Actually, close the README. Yes. Presentation mode, so you can see it bigger. And what happened? This Java project has some dependencies. So I'm going to go here through the client libraries. I'm going to copy this dependency and add to my project. So I'm going to add it here. I save and ask here my IDE to reload the project. So yeah, it's already available here. So one of the nice things about this Java Quarkus project, and I can say you've seen here this message. Actually, hello from Quarkus REST. And it's returning from this endpoint. And I can say hello, everyone, to the new client libraries for Google Wallet. And I save, and I just come here, refresh, and guess what? It's already there. So it's like Java is still a statically compiled language, but now we have live reload, and you can see that it happens just a matter of milliseconds. So that's why I think it's super easy for us to do this live demo in Java. Okay, so let's go here and move. How can I integrate? So what we're going to do, we're going to transform this endpoint, and we're going to be returning a link so we can add an event ticket to Google Wallet here. So the first step that I need to do is to go here and, oops, I think I closed my other one. Yeah, let me get my cheat sheet here in another window. Awesome. So it's much easier for me to see what I'm going to do here. So first, I need to create the dependencies. So if you're using Java, I'm going to create here wallet objects factory. It's going to be a class. And this one in particular is going to produce two things for me. I need to return the Google credentials, which means the stuff that I use to authenticate. Google credentials. And I'm going to throw exception because, well, this is not production code, so I don't want to handle it. Okay, and what do I need to do? I need to do Google credentials from stream. Now I need to get the credential file from my project. And I'm going to be super lazy. I'm going to copy the credentials that I already have from my other project. And I'm going to copy paste here, credentials.json. So, oops, I don't want you to see it. So it's copy pasted and credentials.json. So this is the service account key that I got from the Google Cloud console. So I got it. I'm getting it. And what else do I need to do? I need to create scoped. And when I say create scoped, I need to add collections, singleton, and wallet object scopes, dot wallet object issue. And once I've did that, I just need to assign it. Oops, somewhere, yes. And I'm going to get the credentials, and I say credential.refresh to make sure everything is good and return the credentials. Okay, so I just created my credentials, and I'm going to make it available to my Quarkus project. And I'm going to make another dependency here, which is the client from the client library itself. And for Java, it's called wallet objects. And I'm going to return this one. Oops, not this one. Exception. Okay. And how can I create this one? So don't worry if it looks like a lot of code. It might look like boilerplate, but this kind of thing, you only do it once. I'm going to do return new wallet objects.builder. Wallet object.builder. And this one requires Google Net HTTP transport, new trusted transports. It also requires a JSON factory. For Java, at least, it's a pluggable. So if you wanted to use GZone, like what I'm using, you can. If you want to use Jackson, you can. If you want to use another JSON library, you can do that as well. From my experience, GZone works better. Credential adapter, Google credentials. Here I'm using the authentication. And I can also do things, for example, set application name. Credentials. Yeah, I'm done. Oops. Remove this one. And after I did that, I can set the application name, new client libraries for Google Wallet. And I can build it. Okay. So I don't know if that's the best possible formatting, but it's done. So here I created the dependencies that I needed. Now I'm ready to code. So if I'm ready to integrate, now how can I design my Google Wallet pass? I guess the easiest way for me to do that is go through the developer documentation here. Let's go back to developers.google.com/wallets, documentation, event tickets. And if you go to the left side of your screen, you go to the pass builder. You can design your event ticket. And I know it's very big here, but you can type, I can say new client libraries for wallets. I think it's too big to show, but if you move here, like I reduce the font size just a bit, yeah. Now you can see here what I'm doing. I'm designing the pass, new client libraries, where it's happening, not shoreline, but worldwide on YouTube, because you're watching us. And it's the Google Wallet live stream. Cool, isn't it? So I'm designing the pass, like what you see is what you're going to get. I can change the hero image here in the bottom. I can change the logo, but just because it's just a demo, it should be good. Then I go here to the JSON tab, and I already have all the information that I needed to create it. So I have the object definition, and I have the class definition. I'm going to click on this icon here to copy this to the clipboard. It's already copied. So what I can do now, I can paste this one. It's going to be event ticket class.json. And I create this file and I paste the content. Now I'm going to do the same here with the object definition. I copy here and I'm going to create a new file. Event ticket object.json. And I paste the content. Cool. I already have the template ready in my project. Now I just need what I need to do. I just need to do the production stuff in my code. So I'm going to go back here to my greeting resource, and I'm going to return instead. I'm going to create the pass. I'll do everything here in this class because it's not production stuff, but I'm going to issue the new event ticket for you live. So what do I need to do? I think the easiest way now is for us to parse the JSON file that I just pasted in the project and make it available so I can tweak it, the ID, the class ID, and other production stuff. So the easiest way that I found here is to create a JSON factory so I can parse. And now I can create a JSON parser. I can, for example, use get class, get resource, and I'm going to get the event ticket class. JSON parser, parse, and that's the beauty of the client libraries. Now everything is typed for me because I already have the POJOs. So if I can do the event ticket class, and it's there. It will throw an exception. So because it's not production code, it's just a demo, I'm just going to ignore and throw it away. So I got the event ticket class. Cool. I can already use it. Now I'm going to create the event ticket object. Luckily for us, it's just a matter of copying, duplicating the code. But instead of declaring everything again, that this one I don't need, I'm going to reuse and say, instead of the class, I want to use the event ticket object. Okay. And now I'm going to parse and event ticket objects. Okay. And assign it to an event ticket object. So what else do I need? Well, the missing information is I need my issuer ID, which is the number you can get from the Google Pay and Wallet console. Luckily, I already have here handy. I already have my issue ID, and now I need to create the class ID and the object ID. The class ID is the ID that I'm going to use in my system to reference it later. And it needs to have this format. Class ID, I'm going to use here. It needs to be the issuer ID, a dot, and whatever string you want for the rest. So I'm going to be issuer ID, and I'm going to give a string. And I'm going to say new client libraries 1. That's the name of my class. And of course, you'll be generating this in your system. You can give the name that you want. And I'm also going to the object ID, which means it's not required. The only requirement is that the first piece needs to be your issuer ID. But I think it's a best practice for us if the object ID, if we start with the class ID and we just append something. It's going to be an event ticket. Okay, so we have the class ID, we have the object ID. I think that's all that we need to be able to create our passes. So now we're going to do what? I'm going to get event ticket class, set ID, is going to be the class ID. Now I'm going to get the event ticket object, set ID is going to be the object ID. And for the object, by the way, I also need to set the class ID. Okay. That's it. We're done. All we needed to do to populate the objects, to create a pass template, to create the layout is done. Now we need to send to the Google servers so we can use and send a ticket for you. So how can we do that? We can do that by doing this. For the class, I'm going to say wallet objects. I'm going to here to inject the wallet objects dependency that I created in the other class. So now wallet objects dot event ticket class insert event ticket class dot execute. Okay. And when I do this, I can use the return type. This is going to return the object that was just created. But because it's just a demo, I just assume it's working because if you don't have an exception, it's working. And now I'm going to create the ticket object, event ticket object, insert event ticket object dot execute. Cool. Yeah, well, I think it's doing pretty well. And now, what else do we need to do? Oh, if this code is executed successfully, I already have the objects. I already have the event tickets created in the Google Wallet API. Now what I have to do? Now I have to share these with my users. So to share with my users, I'm going to create an add to Google Wallet link. To create this, we need to create a signed jot. So that's why I'm going to get here. And this is boilerplate. You just need to copy the code. I copied this from the Google Wallet samples, a Google Wallet repository on GitHub for Java. So it's pretty boring. So the only thing that I need to do is to add a dependency because I need the credentials to sign my jot. So I'm just going to move forward and copy the code here for you. So this is boilerplate, I admit. I just create a map and I import the stuff. Oh, to sign it, I need another dependency, which I didn't add before. So to sign it, I'm going to open here. I'm going to open pom.xml. I need another dependency, which is this one, the Java jot, to be able to sign the jots, okay? So now that I've did this, I can go back to my hello greeting resource. I can refresh my project because I added another dependency. Cool. Now I can fix it. Import. Yeah, we're almost there. What do I need to do? I just need to return the Google Pay and Wallet link. And it has this particular format. String add to Google Wallet link. And needs to be this. It needs to have this URL and the token. Okay. So now I just return, because I want to be nice to you, instead of text, I'm going to return HTML, and I'm going to generate HTML in the worst possible way, which is like this. Add like ahref, this one, plus add to Google Wallet, plus add to Google Wallet link, and now another string, close, add to Google Wallet. Okay. Don't tell anyone that you learned this from me. And I think we're good. Hopefully, this piece of code will work. So Quarkus is still running in the background. So it's just a matter of me going back here to my hello world endpoint and reloading it. So let's see if it works. Reload. Oh, stop it working. What's happening? My project died. So let's restart it. So starting, running. So once again, reload, and let's see the magic happening. It's creating the object, it's sending the stuff to the Google Wallet API. Let's see here if everything went well. I don't see any errors, so we should be good. Good. Oh, no exceptions. It's running in the first try. Let's see if it's really working. I'm going to click it here, and fingers crossed. Yes, I have an event ticket available in Google Wallet. So you can see the URL. If you tap this in your mobile phone, you're going to see the same thing. And when I click add this, and note that it's a nice feature of Google Wallet. You can be in your desktop browser, you add it, and yes, it's available in my Google account, which means that for this particular one, it's going to be available in all my Android devices where I have Google Wallet installed. And the thing that you can't see is that I just received a notification in my mobile phone saying that event ticket added to Google Wallet. And if I tap here, and if I type my passwords, and it's showing that this new event ticket is available on my Google Wallet. And if I find it here, well, guess what? Guess what? It's already available in my Google Wallet. I added here in my computer, and it was automatically downloaded to my Android phone where I have Google Wallet installed. Cool, isn't it? Yes, I think it's awesome. And if by any chance you want to change this one, right? Using the new client libraries, we just created this one and you didn't like the color. You didn't like the color of the event ticket. I think this color is too dark. You can go, guess what? We can change the color on the fly. You can say event tickets class, set hex background color, and it's going to be FF, which, if I'm not mistaken, it's a white background. So I just did this. And now, and what do I need to do? Instead of inserting it, now I need to update. And when I update, I have to tell you what that is the class ID. And I can update here to the object ID. Okay, so because why is that? Because I already inserted. Now I have to update. So let's change the background color of the pass. Okay, so we're going to, Quark is still running in the background. Yes, it is. I'm going to go back here, refresh, add to Google Wallet. Let's click it again. Let's see what happens. White background. Cool. And what you didn't see is that because I ran through the code and updated it in the API, here in my phone, in my Google Wallet, when I click on it, you change it automatically to white, which is pretty hard to see because it's white on white. But yes, the background is white already. I think you can see it. It's white. Cool, isn't it? Well, I don't think it can be cooler than that. And if you want to check this code of the client libraries, we have samples for all the major languages and platforms on GitHub. If you go to github.com/Google-Wallet, we have like the Google Wallet samples where you can see the samples using the new client libraries. And yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did doing this. And let's see if we have like any other questions from the audience. And if you have any other questions, you still have time to post them here. So Vasco Rodriguez is asking, will you be integrating European IDs? Well, you know that here in the US, we already integrate mobile driver license. So for some states, like I believe Arizona, and I just heard the news. I live in North Carolina, and I just read the news in the local news site that the governor signed the law. So next year, the North Carolina mobile driver's licenses will be available in digital wallets. So I'm super eager to be able to add my driver license to my Google Wallet. And I'm sure that the different countries in Europe are already working to add their digital IDs like passport or local IDs to digital wallets. And I'm sure that those countries are talking and thinking about adding them to Google Wallet. I can't give any specific timeline, but given that digital wallets are here to stay and there's a lot of things happening regarding digital IDs and digital wallets, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw like very soon some European IDs, European national IDs available in Google Wallets. But I don't have any more information than that. Okay. Sorry if I can't pronounce your name. Can you check pass added to other device with this lib? I suppose that if I add a pass to my Google Wallet with this library, can it be added to another device with this library? Well, it's not a feature of the client library by itself, but answer to your question, yes. So it's but it's a feature of the Google Wallet API by itself. So for example, in this particular event ticket, I didn't add any restriction. So it means that when I added this to my Google account, it was made available to all the devices where I have Google Wallet installed. So for example, if I had more than one Android phone, this event ticket would be available in all the Android phones where I have Google Wallet installed, because I didn't add any restriction. In the Google Wallet API, if you want, you can restrict it. Oh, this event ticket can only be available in one device. We can do that. Or it can be available in only one account. We can do that as well. So it's a feature, it's a security feature of the Google Wallet API. I didn't add any restriction. That's why it's available everywhere. But if you want, you can do. And yes, using this client library, you have access to this feature as well. Okay. And I see here, I'm seeing a lot of comments. Yeah, thank you so much again for joining us, for watching us. I hope I hope the entertainment was good, because we did a lot of stuff here. I know it was a lot, but luckily for us, it's recorded, so you can go back and see what I did, even some of the minor mistakes, I hope, what I did. But you can, of course, copy whatever went successful because it's working. Okay, and I think we're done for today. Yeah, thank you so much for watching us. As a reminder, next week I'll be in India, so if you happen to be at the Connect event in India, in Bengaluru, yeah, please say hi. I would love to see you in person, share coffee. It would be my absolute pleasure, and hope to see you soon in our next upcoming Google Wallet live stream. Take care. Bye.